Coming up on Spartan Sports Report, MSU football made the trip out west to face its second straight top 10 opponent. Field hockey looked to get back in the win column after 2 conference losses, and the women's soccer team continued its dominance in a record-setting game. Welcome into this week's episode of Spartan Sports Report. I'm Derek Mitchell.
And I'm Ethan Hunter. It's been a week for Michigan State athletics. Derek, we're already back to hockey season. Can you believe it?
I know, Ethan. It's not even cold out yet, but that might be because of how DeMartin Stadium has been hot lately.
No, it absolutely has. Both soccer teams have caught fire here at this point in the season, although the women came into Friday just a little bit cooler. Following back-to-back draws, the number 5 ranked women's soccer team looked to break the streak against rival Michigan Saturday night. DeMartin was packed with a record-breaking crowd of 5,145 fans. That's double DeMartin's capacity and over 1,000 more than last year's Women's College Cup final. It was a physical matchup on both sides, with each team recording multiple fouls in the first 10 minutes of the game. The first half remained scoreless, with goalkeeper Caitlin Parks tallying 2 saves for the Spartans to keep the score at 0-0 going into the break. But here in the 76th minute, it's Emily Matthews who draws a foul in the box to earn a penalty kick for MSU, where it's who else but Justina Gaynor to take the shot and break the tie, putting the Spartans up 1-0. Michigan State held on to that 1-0 lead, clinching a 3rd straight victory over Michigan and improving to a 9-0-4 record. It would also mark head coach Jeff Hostler's 50th win with MSU, and here's what he had to say after the game.
I thought we were great tonight. The intensity piece, right from the start, I thought we were really sharp. The energy was there, the intensity was there. I thought we were really sharp in the way that we were playing. We knew that we were going to get really tough. Michigan's going to be really tough out tonight. When you have a whole week to prepare, when you have, it's a single game in a week, and you've got 90 minutes to play for instead of 180, you just approach it differently.
The Spartans have a West Coast road trip on the horizon, taking on Oregon on Thursday and Washington on Sunday.
Coming off a double overtime win against Ball State, the Michigan State field hockey team welcomed in Miami, Ohio early last week after a scoreless first half. Red Hawk Henriette Schaluter tipped one in high over goalie Lyra Gavino 1 minute into the third quarter. Emma O'Neill was able to find an equalizer for the Spartans in the fourth quarter, sending the game into overtime. However, the Spartans couldn't get enough of those double overtime games, as it will be Ellie Rutherford who found the back of the net in the second overtime, ending the game and solidifying the win for the Spartans. Using the momentum off of 2 straight wins, Michigan State field hockey was vying for a 3rd win in a row as it welcomed in Kent State. MSU's Ellie Rutherford opened up the scoring against the Golden Flashes in the 16th second of the game to put the Spartans up 1-0. Within the first 5 minutes, 3 total goals were scored. 2 coming from MSU. Kent State was up 3-2 headed into the final quarter, but MSU's senior Maddie Lawler was able to net the game-tying goal in one of the 16 total penalty corners in the match. That would be the most MSU has seen through 11 matches, and Lawler's goal will lead the Spartans to playing their 3rd straight double overtime game this season. But 2 overtimes wouldn't be enough, as the game was sent into a shootout where Kent State was able to get their 3rd win of the season with a final score of 4-3. Michigan State is now 6-5 on the season and has a Big Ten battle against Maryland coming up this Friday in East Lansing.
The men's and women's cross-country teams each earned top 10 finishes in the Joe Piani Notre Dame Invitational this weekend. The women entered the meet ranked 18th in the country, and Rachel Forsyth was their top finisher in her first race at MSU. Taylor Ewart and Taylor Pangburn rounded out the top 3 Spartans for a 9th overall place finish. On the men's side, Andrew Nolan set a personal best and finished 19th overall with a time of 23:06 in the 8K. They placed 3rd in the 8K Open and 5th in the 8K Blue Race. MSU will next travel to Madison, Wisconsin for pre-nationals on October 19th.
The MSU volleyball team had 2 games over the weekend as they traveled on the road to take on the Indiana Hoosiers and the Purdue Boilermakers. The Spartans were in Bloomington on Friday for a tough matchup against the Hoosiers. MSU dropped the first 2 sets before winning the 3rd, but ultimately lost the 4th set to lose the match 3-1. Akasha Anderson put up a team-high 13 kills in the loss. MSU wrapped up their road trip in West Lafayette on Sunday, but got swept by Purdue in a 3-0 loss, extending their losing streak to 5 games. Despite the result, the Spartans put up a strong fight as Nalani Yosia put up 20 digs in the match for the 6th time this season. Julia Bishop also recorded her 4th double-double of the year with 27 assists and 14 digs. The Spartans will return home to Breslin Center over the weekend for 2 Big Ten matchups as they take on the number 3 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions and a tough 9-5 Illinois squad.
Now, Michiganders often debate what towns are really up north. Well, Michigan State hockey was definitely up north this weekend in Sault Ste. Marie at Lake Superior State in the season opener on Friday. As the Big Ten defending champs begin their season, the Spartans were looking to start strong against their former CCHA foe. Halfway through the first period, in Michigan State's offensive zone here, it's Isaac Howard who forces a turnover and deflects the pass from Danny Russell to score the first goal of the season. What a weekend it would end up being for him. The Lakers were quick to respond to tie up the game at 1 apiece, and that's where it would stay through regulation. Now we head into overtime where it's who else but that first line once again. Russell takes a pass from Howard and squeaks one by Rourke Appleby for the deciding factor in the 2-1 win. Michigan State went on to take the second game 5-1. Howard had himself quite the weekend as Saturday he set a new career high for goals in one game with 2 to finish a massive 5-point weekend. The number 4 Spartans will be back in action on Friday for their home opener and quite an exciting weekend against the number 2 Boston College Eagles for their first top 5 matchup of the season.
MSU football took the trip to Eugene for the first time in the decade to face the Oregon Ducks. For the second straight week, the Spartans had the odds stacked against them, coming in as 3-score underdogs. On the Spartans' first drive of the game, quarterback Aiden Childs found freshman wide receiver Nick Marsh for a big gain deep into Oregon territory. But the Spartans could not find their way into the end zone as Childs commits another costly turnover, this time on the goal line. But Oregon QB Dylan Gabriel would return the favor as he rolls left and is picked off by Spartans defensive back Malik Spencer, keeping the game tied at 0. Then the Ducks would wake up, scoring 31 unanswered points. The Spartans offense scored 10 points on the last 2 drives, but it was too little, too late, as the Ducks would take this one 31-10. MSU falls 3-3 on the season and 1-2 in conference play. After 3 straight losses, the Spartans have a chance to collect themselves with a bye week before hosting the Iowa Hawkeyes on October 19th.
After a big win at number 15 UCLA, the Michigan State men's soccer team returned home after almost 3 weeks of travel to face Northwestern. The first half was ruled by the defense, with both teams combining for just 3 shots on goal and 15 fouls. The game would stay 0-0 at the half, and after the break, both teams came out firing. Here in the 62nd minute now, it's Jake Spadafora out on the wing. He finds Jack Gugamis at the top of the box here, takes one touch and rockets it up in the top corner to make it 1-0. Of course, the Red Cedar Rowdies are absolutely loving it, but they'd get a scare just minutes later as Bryce LaBelle has a great chance trying to beat Zach Kelly to his right, and of course not. Kelly makes the save. He saved 5 shots on the day to turn in his second consecutive clean sheet and a 1-0 victory for MSU. It was Gugamis' first goal of the season, and Zach Kelly commented on how important it is to have 10 players that can score ahead of him.
Yeah, I think it's huge to get other guys on the score sheet. I mean, it takes some of the pressure off of one guy, but for us as a team, it's huge. Anyone on our team will put the ball in the net, and that's what we need. That's what winning teams do, and I mean, that's how you win games. That's how you win.
On Saturday, the Spartans took on 12th-ranked Maryland and had the lead after a Will Eby goal, but fell to 2-1 after the Terrapins scored twice in the final 20 minutes.
Michigan State's men's tennis wrapped up its week with 3 Spartans competing at the M15 Ann Arbor tournament. Senior Josh Portnoy battled through 2 matches in the qualifiers to make it to the main draw. However, Portnoy lost in straight sets to Ryan Dickerson. The Spartans come home to host the ITA team regionals here in East Lansing this weekend.
Michigan State men's golf played in the Fighting Irish Classic this past weekend, looking to bounce back after their 16th place finish at the Wyndham Memorial. But after 3 rounds, no Spartans' total score would reach even or under par. At the end of the weekend, the team was in 12th place, shooting 40 over par. Michigan State was led by senior Ashton McCullough, who finished tied for 22nd place, and they have 1 tournament left in the fall season. They'll be in Florida next Sunday.
What a week we had in Spartan Sports, and thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode.
Yeah, you can check out all of our social media accounts below, and be sure to visit the Spartan Newsroom website for more content. I'm Ethan Hunter.
And I'm Derek Mitchell. We'll see you guys next week.